Ooh, what's up, guys? Welcome to week 4 of TNA Impact. That's right. We are bound for glory.
Road to glory, cross the line.
As NWA and TNA battle to restore their glory, and of course, we are just a few weeks away from Slammiversary for TNA Impact, and tonight's show features the Commonwealth Kid Corey Jarvis and Ken Shamrock in tag team action. We are also getting Eddie Edwards versus Moose and the contract signing between the now triple threat knockouts title match between Jordan Grace, Havoc, and Tennille Dashwood, and much more to come.
Much more. The final of this taping here in Mississauga. Let's start off the show right into it.
Yes, we have, of course, Jillian Jacobs. She is here, and she says, over the past few days leading up to from last week, I've had people tweeting at me, messaging me, talking to me on the streets about how they want to see a triple threat knockouts match. They want to see Havoc get her and Jordan Grace get their hands on Tennille Dashwood. And there are even some people who think Tennille Dashwood deserves a match, even though she cheated. And you know what? I am willing to put my ego aside and say when the fans are right, they're right. And so that's why tonight we are having a contract signing. We're making it official. It's a 3-way at Slammiversary. And, Jordan Grace, she signs the contract and she says, I'm very happy that we made this match into a 3-way. Havoc, you are an impressive powerhouse of a woman, and you are going to be a hell of a contender. You might be one of the few people in this company who can match me power for power, and I am looking forward to giving you my all. And Tennille Dashwood, I'm looking forward to snapping you like a twig. You cheated to beat me. You embarrassed me. You attacked Havoc. Whenever things don't go your way, you take the coward's way out. And so that's why at Slammiversary, I am going to defeat you and retain my Knockouts championship. And Tennille Dashwood, she laughs and says, Jordan Grace, you can pretend to be as confident as you want, but you and I both know that I had your number, and you've been hiding behind me cheating. Listen, okay, I did what I had to do to win. That proves that I'm smarter than you, and that proves that I deserve to be Knockouts champion. And so after I defeat you and Havoc and win that championship, I will represent the Knockouts division with class. And Havoc, she says nothing. Instead, she just picks up Tennille Dashwood and power bombs her through the announce table, or through the table of where the contract signing was taking place. Because what's a contract signing without a table spot?
Yeah, and obviously that's the rules. That's the unwritten rules of the contract signing. I can't wait for that match.
He puts Tennille Dashwood through a table, and then as Jordan Grace is standing up there, laughing at Tennille Dashwood, Havoc turns around and big boots Jordan Grace. As Havoc stands tall.
Havoc is going to be a force to be reckoned with, it seems like, in this TNA women's division.
As we have here now our opening contest, Ace Austin, the now named #1 contender for the X Division Championship against Willie Mack, taking on former X Division champion Suicide. And in a decent match, Ace Austin defeats Suicide at 9:32 with Ace's high.
Yeah, a match, presented as a high-flying, over-the-top, just fast-paced, showcasing what the X Division is known for and showcasing what Ace Austin could bring as the X Division champion. He goes one-on-one with Willie Mack in, oh my God, can I do the math right? It's, should
be like a week away.
12 days then, Chad.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound right, but it sounds right. 12 days away from Slammiversary. Oh, speaking of the devil.
And Ace Austin says, well, Willie Mack, if it seems to me like you are just 12 days away from falling back into irrelevancy and obscurity, because you, Willie Mack, you're the X Division champion only because I haven't decided to hold that belt until now. So at Slammiversary, I prove that I am the future of TNA. when I win that X Division championship, and you can go back to the Indies wrestling in front of 10 people. And Willie Mack, he
holy shit.
Yeah. And Willie Mack, he's not going to take that disrespect. So he gets in the ring and he says, Ace Austin, you're all talk, but when it's time to step in the ring and go, I will prove that I am better than you. And I'll tell you what, I think I'm done talking. And he takes the microphone and hits Ace Austin in the head with it. And they start brawling. But Ace Austin, I guess I don't start brawling. Willie Mack gets a couple of hits on Ace Austin, and Ace Austin rolls out of the ring. As if to say, no, I'm not wrestling. We're not doing this now. Ace Austin says, now people need to pay to see me wrestle you. And he walks to the back as Willie Mack stands in the ring with his X Division championship.
Man, I can't wait for that one. Willie Mack, a former WWE guy, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I think you used to work with the Fed. Could be wrong. Could be talking out of my big fat ass, but he was definitely part of Lucha Underground.
Was. And Jillian Jacobs, she approaches Leah Vaughn backstage and she says, listen, you're not going to book me again, please, no? She says, who else do I need to wrestle? And she says, I'll tell you what, the last 3 weeks, you've really impressed me. You've been showing up here willing to do any job I've asked you. And that proves to me that you're dependable. You're a hard worker. And at TNA, I want hard workers. I want people who deserve to be here. And so next week, I'm giving you an opportunity. You have a gut check match. And if you win next week, I'll give you a TNA contract right here. And of course, she's super sick. She says, thank you so much for the opportunity. And Jillian says, no, thank you for your hard work. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Jillian Jacobs, woman of the people.
Yeah, I mean, she's like you said, she is the people's GM, Chad. She is what everyone wants their GM to be. Like, she listens to the people. She listens to maybe don't listen to Twitter because Twitter could be a cesspool. But she's looking out for the people that watch the show, and that's all you can ask for. I also was lying out on my big fat ass. Willie Mack has never wrestled in WWE.
I didn't think he did, but I was willing to go with it because, well, what do I know?
Yeah, what do I know? I swore he may have had a tryout or something like that. That could be it, but I'll dig deeper. No, I won't. That's probably the end of the digging.
We have a Knockouts tag team match tonight. And listen, Kylie Ray and Kimberly don't work as a team, but Tasha Steelz and Kiera Hogan do as they pick up the win tonight.
Yeah, the crowd wasn't into this one. This one felt a little off. We could, the crowd, we could hear, I heard at least one "this is boring" chant in the crowd. Not a good sign. No. Well, hey, I'm just reporting on what I heard, Chad. Not a good sign as it got an 18. It seemed a little off. Kimber and Kylie, they just weren't working well together. They weren't gelling as a team, so that really took away from the match at hand. So, you know what? I agree with the crowd that night. It was boring.
But one thing that's not boring, we have Zoe Stark taking on Taya Valkyrie. The run of Zoe Stark continues, and I'm sure nothing will stop it at all as she defeated Taya Valkyrie by submission.
Yeah, nothing at all as she suffered a knee ligament damage tonight.
Probably from wrestling 3 weeks in a row.
Yep, 3 times in one night, Chad. I did warn you when we were booking. Don't do it. And unfortunately, it seemed like her knee kind of gave out a little bit. This doesn't seem like a major injury, but it might be something that she works through the next week or two or month.
But while she's working through that, of course, her mentors, Gail Kim and Trish Stratus, they are in the ring celebrating with Zoe Stark as she beats Taya Valkyrie.
I mean, does this put a hamper on Zoe Stark and her push? Obviously, what happens here tonight, now, Chad, you got to think about it. If it is a few weeks injury, you have to remember that this is all taped on June 2nd. So she would have 5-6 weeks before our Slammiversary to recover. So there is pros and cons to working 100 matches in a night. She has that time to recover, so she might not be out of Slammiversary. She could heal before then. So hopefully, fingers crossed, because she is the future of TNA, it seems like. Next segment, though, Chad. Speaking of the future.
Yes. Speaking of the future, we've got an X Division match tonight, a triple threat match. TJP, Trey, and Chris Bay. That rhymed. And Trey defeated TJP and Chris Bay. It was an elimination match, of course, and Chris Bay was the first eliminated, followed by TJP, and it was a high spots match. And Trey picking up a win here, getting an impressive win. Listen, you're talking about people who, next up, if Ace Austin, either wins or loses his match, Willie Mack will need new next challengers, and Trey with an impressive win there.
Yeah,
that rascal.
A big win there, and all three of these guys could be future X Division champions.
As we get, of course, Ken Shamrock in the copper or the Commonwealth.
I love how you don't know what it is every time.
I know. I keep wanting to call him the Copper Tone Kid.
Copper Tone Kid.
The Commonwealth Kid, Corey.
The Sunscreen Kid.
The Sunscreen.
Oh, that's his new name.
The Commonwealth Corey and Ken Shamrock, of course. Ken Shamrock. He says, we have the newest student in the Shamrock Dojo, and tonight we get our first win. Justin, are you excited for Ken Shamrock and the Commonwealth, Corey Jarvis?
I mean, I'm not excited for old man Ken Shamrock, but I am excited to see a former Olympian and Corey Jarvis, pursue his dreams of being a professional wrestler. The real wrestling, not that Greco-Roman stuff he was doing in the Olympics. This is real wrestling.
This is the big leagues. Yeah, this is the big leagues. Okay, and speaking of big leagues, we have some big league implications in this singles match because, of course, we know that the Deaners and the Decay will square off at Slammiversary. But tonight, we will decide the winners. The winner of this singles match will pick the stipulation for their match. And we have Cousin Jake versus Rosemary. And in a decent match, Rosemary defeats Cousin Jake in 12:51 with an Olympic slam.
Does she pick what the implication is now? Or will we have to wait until the go-home to hear it?
Who knows?
You do.
I will tell you that she indeed does not wait, and we will find out right now. Because Jillian Jacobs,
you never booked it. We'll find out at the go home. Apparently,
yeah. Jillian Jacobs says, and we will find out next week what Rosemary picks for that stipulation. And while that's happening, she's interrupted by EV2 or ECW, Rob Van Dam and Rhino. And they say, listen, Reno Scum interfered in our tag team title match, and they injured Rob Van Dam. We need payback. We need an opportunity at revenge, and we want another shot at those tag team titles, a fair shot at those tag team titles. And Reno Scum, they walk by, and they're like, well. Rob Van Dam's 100 years old. He was bound to get hurt anyway. So, but if you guys want to try to wrestle Reno Scum, listen, you know where to find us. And while that's going on, of course, Hernandez shows up and he says, listen, ain't nobody getting any match with Rhino until I give my payback against Rhino. And while this is all happening, there's chaos everywhere. Everyone's shouting. The North show up with their tag team titles. And they look at Jillian Jacobs and they say, listen, if they want a rematch for these tag titles, anytime, anywhere, we'll wrestle all you bums. We don't care. And there's a big pandemonium as Jillian Jacobs says, next week I will have a solution to this problem. But until then, you all need to wait until next week. No one's touching anybody. No one's fighting. But
no touching.
Find out the aftermath of this problem next week. Jillian Jacobs has a solution. I wonder what that solution is.
I don't know. I unmuted too fast. I don't know what the solution would be, but I'm very excited to see what it is. I think we go into our co-main event right now, Chad.
Oh, hell yeah, we do. Our tag team match. We've got Ken Shamrock and Commonwealth Corey Jarvis taking on the Desi Hit Squad. And then about to have decent reaction from the crowd by Subpar Wrestling. Shamrock and Corey Jarvis defeat the Desi Hit Squad when Corey Jarvis pinned Rohit Raju in a belly-to-back suplex. And Corey Jarvis gets a 42.
I mean, yeah, this is what I thought he could do. He looks very good in terms of in-ring talent. I'm watching his 2014 Commonwealth tape. He was a very good wrestler, so it is good to see it translate into the squared circle. And Ken Shamrock, He's still hanging around. So if there's worse people Corey Jarvis could be around backstage. So it's nice to see TNA kind of
Listen,
welcoming in.
The first ever TNA champion, Ken Shamrock. What a better mentor.
That is fucking true. Oh my god, I just realized I'm NWA, you're TNA. Oh no. We're gonna have to do some flashbacks. Toby Keith, get out here, brother. We move on to our main event, Chad. A match that was sanctioned, I guess, last week. It's Eddie Edwards and Moose. A big-time matchup in a big-time spot. The main event here tonight. There you go.
Yes, and in that match, it was a barn burner. These two were very physical, but in the madness, it ended up ending in a double pinfall when both men pinned each other. Crazy, absolute calamity have ensued, but it got a 55, which is definitely, I think, the best match we've ran so far.
I think so. That might be your best match. Again, remind me to take Johnny Bravo out of it. Could have been better, it looks like. Johnny Bravo really fucked you there. We'll kill him. We'll fire him, I mean. And then, what does Jillian Jacobs have to say to end the show? And end the tapings?
Jillian Jacobs, she comes out and she says, you know what? Clearly, these fans deserve a winner. And the people watching at home deserved a true winner. And I want to see this match again. And I think a match this big deserves Slammiversary. And everyone's excited. And she says, and I also think, if this happens again, you pin him and he pins you at the same time, we need to have a backup plan. You two are some of the very best. This match could end at any time. And so I think it's only fair that this next match will be 2 out of 3 falls.
I like it. That's how we end the show. That's how we end the tapings at 51.
Not too shabby. We end on a high note of 51. Hell of a show for TNA.
Yeah, but we still have one more Impact to go before Slammiversary. Week 5, we'll have both. We'll have the go home, and probably we'll have Slammiversary on top of that. I think that's how it's going to be. I don't think there will be separate episodes for the pay-per-views at this moment. We'll find out. We'll see how these work. And we'll also have the episode of NWA Power on top of that. Chad, are you excited?
Oh, I'm super excited. This is a great idea, and I'm looking forward to NWA.
How these tapings go, you think?
I think they went good. I think we definitely set a lot of lore. I think we've established some characters, and I think we have a lot to build off of. How do you think they went?
I think they went fantastic. I can't wait to see what the future of TNA looks like, and I can't wait to see if you ever bring back some legends, some callbacks. I can't wait to see this company grow, and I can't wait to see this company die when I kill it later in the save. We'll see you for episode week 5. Welcome back to another episode of NWA Power. We are only 4 days away, that is correct, from our first big event, NWA Shockwave, where the main event, Nick Aldis defends his NWA World Heavyweight Championship against 30 South Trevor Murdoch and a plethora of other big matches, but we have one more Power to get through before we enter the Shockwave. Let's get into the show now, though. And we start off, it was supposed to be, don't look at the part 1. It was going to be a 2-part segment. Then I realized didn't have time for 2 segments. So we have 1. And we start off with the Strictly Business crew coming out. Nick Aldis. They all walked down to the ring. And with all 4 members having matches Sunday night at Shockwave, we have the Wild Cards, Thomas Bratmer and Royce Isaacs. They take on the tag team champions of NWA, Eli Drake and James Storm. We see Camille challenging for the NWA Women's Championship against Thunder Rosa. And Nick Aldis, like we just said, he steps into the ring with Dirty South Trevor Murdoch. And here tonight, just to cut a little promo before the big match, is your NWA World Heavyweight Champion, Nick Aldis. Let's see what he has to say. He gets the microphone. He says, Trevor Murdoch, the man of the people. I've heard your story before. I've seen your struggle. And I know you're coming into this match with fire in your belly. You think you're fighting for something more than just a title, don't you? You think you're fighting for every man, every woman, every child in the crowd who dares to dream, who dares to believe that a man just like you could stand toe-to-toe in the ring like with a man like me. Trevor, I've said it before, and I will say it again. I'm not just defending a title. I'm defending an era. I am the national treasure, and I carry the legacy of the NWA on my shoulders. I don't just represent a championship. I represent excellence in this sport. And when you step in the ring with me, you are fighting for your survival. So when it's all said and done, Trevor, and the dust has settled and the referee has counted the 3 and the reality sinks in, you will realize what everyone else already knows. I am Nick Aldis. I am the NWA World Heavyweight Champion. And Trevor, you're just another chapter in the story of my greatness. And he stands tall with the other 3 members of Strictly Business. Long, as they all say this, long live the champ. Nick Aldis, Trevor Murdoch at Shockwave. We continue on tonight. Aaron Stevens, our NWA National Heavyweight Champion, takes on C.W. Anderson in a non-title match. A good back and forth bout here tonight, but Aaron Stevens gets the better of C.W. Anderson in 10-12 and hits the terminus on C.W. Anderson. Our next matchup sees the number 1 contenders for those tag team championships, the Wildcards, Thomas Bratmer and Royce Isaacs. They take on two local talents from the Southeast. Former Ring of Honor members Brett and Brendan Tate. The Tates are in the ring, and they get a shot tonight against Royce Isaacs and Thomas Latimer. But the Strictly Business, or the Wild Cards, as their tag team name is, as they are known as a tag team, the Wild Cards. They take care of business. Oh my, I'm all over the place mentally right now. The Wild Cards take care of business in 5:53 when Thomas Latimer pins Brendan Tate with the Velvet Noise. We move on backstage, or we go maybe to commercial, but it's just a highlight package. We get a highlight package of Eddie Kingston's greatest matches spanning almost 20 years. He's done it all. He's been in the ring with it all. We get this because, unfortunately, tonight, due to weather, Ethan Carter III could not make it to the arena tonight. A big thunderstorm, actually a hurricane or a tropical storm, has taken out Florida, and Ethan Carter III, I think, lives in Florida, so he could not make it to the show tonight. But he will be at Shockwave, and he goes one-on-one with Eddie Kingston. We move on backstage, or move on to our next segment, our next match. Marty Bell goes one-on-one with Camille, and Camille absolutely destroys Marty Bell. 8:15. It might seem a little long for you, but it went long because Camille let it go long. Camille was playing with her food, and she was eating it too as she just, dominates Marty Bell. 1-2, lifts Marty Bell's head up or shoulders up or whatever, keeping the match going just to show Thunder Rosa that she is a dominant force and she should not be taken lightly going into that women's championship match in only 4 days at NWA Shockwave. Big win, though, for Camille. Thunder Rosa, though, comes out and saves Marty Bell after the match because Camille was going to destroy her, kind of like how Bronson Reed destroyed Seth Rollins on Monday Night Raw. She just kept beating up Marty Bell, and Thunder Rosa has seen enough and saved Marty Bell from the onslaught from Camille. We move on backstage. We see Aaron Stevens walking to his locker room, and Tim Storm stops him to talk. And Tim tells Aaron, he's like, Aaron, another wonderful performance out there earlier tonight. Watching you grapple and watching you represent NWA as the National Heavyweight Champion brings me great joy. That belt right there that's on your shoulder, that's been held by many legends. Jack Briscoe, Larry Sabisco, Paul Orndorff, Dusty Rhodes. You should feel great honor being part of that lineage. But I must ask, Aaron, what is a lineage without the name Tim Storm being a part of it? Aaron, let's be honest here. My in-ring days are coming to an end. They're numbered. And there is nothing more that I want in my last days in the wrestling business and my last days here in NWA than to sketch my name alongside the greats to have held that belt. Aaron, will you do me the honor of providing me a title match against you at NWA Shockwave? And Aaron Stevens nods and shakes Tim Storm's hand. We get Aaron Stevens versus Tim Storm for the National Heavyweight Championship at NWA Shockwave. And I think we move on to our main event match. We have the television champion, Zicky Dice, taking on Ricky Starks in our main event. It goes 9:44 in outlandish. Zicky Dice defeats Ricky Starks in 9:44 by pinfall. And Zicky is not happy, and he has something to say after last week's debacle. Maybe not debacle, but beatdown and title stealing from Matt Cardona. What does Zicky Dice have to say? He's clearly frustrated. He doesn't have much to say, but it means a lot. He grabs the microphone and says, "Cardona, you can run, but you cannot hide from Zicky Dice, baby." And it's Sunday night at NWA Shockwave. We have the internet champion versus the television champion. They always say, you know how that song goes, Matt Cardona, video killed the radio star. And it's Sunday night. TV will kill the internet star. We'll see you there at Shockwave, Cardona. And that is how we end the show. That is the last NWA Power going into Shockwave. We have big matches, like we said, Nick Aldis and Trevor Murdoch. The wild cards against Eli Drake and James Storm. Camille versus Thunder Rosa. Eddie Kingston takes on Ethan Carter III, and Zicky Dice goes one-on-one with Matt Cardona. I didn't even tell you. Aaron Stevens and Tim Storm as well. That and many more surprises to come. We will see you there for NWA Shockwave later. I think it's right after this. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first pay-per-view event in this new series of the Road to Glory. Welcome, everybody, to NWA Shockwave. We are live at the Loft in Atlanta, Georgia, and we have a massive, massive show in front of us. And for all you guys watching at home, headlined by the NWA Championship match, Nick Aldis goes one-on-one with Dirty South Trevor Murdoch. Let's get into the card. Let's get into the show. We start off the show with a opening promo, a highlight package, highlighting the big three matches in this card, including, like I said, Nick Aldis and Trevor Murdoch. We also see Matt Cardona goes one-on-one with the NWA TV champion, Outlandish, Zicky Dice. And Eddie Kingston gets his hands on the man that has been tormenting him the last couple weeks, Ethan Carter III. But we start off with the television championship on the line. Matt Cardona comes down to the ring. His music the Tron screaming, "Always ready." Matt Cardona making his in-ring debut here in the NWA. And he's taking on Outlandish Zicky Dice, who makes his way down to the ring. The fans love the NWA TV champion, who proclaimed last week that, just like the song said, TV killed the radio star, and now TV will kill the internet star. Who will win? Will it be the internet champion, or will it be the television champion? Matt Cardona and Zicky Dice go one-on-one right here. And these guys have a hell of a match. But coming out on top is Zicky Dice. 18-13, making back and forth match. But the end of the television champion continuing his run and retaining his championship. Zicky Dice, defense number 1 of your NWA World Television Championship. We move on backstage, and we have Alicia out with Trevor Murdoch. Alicia says, Trevor, tonight you step in the ring with Nick Aldis with a shot at the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. How are the nerves going into this match? And Trevor Murdoch says, well, to be honest with you, Alicia, I don't feel nervous at all. You know, this isn't my first rodeo. People forget I am a 3-time WWE Tag Team Champion with my partner Lance Cade, God rest his soul. I've been through the ringer. This was just another match to me, but, you know, after the last couple weeks hearing this man talk, he just reminds me of this one type of person I do not like. Nick, this long run of yours, whatever, 500, 600, 6,000, it doesn't matter. However many days you want to keep counting, it does not matter after tonight, because it comes to an end tonight. Because when I pin you 1, 2, 3 in that middle of that ring, and the referee hands me that belt, the NWA will have a new face, and that face will be Dirty South Trevor Murdoch. We'll see that main event later tonight. But up next is your... Is it a blood match? No, it's not a blood match, but it is a feud for the ages. Ethan Carter and Eddie Kingston. And we have that guy, that big behemoth, that big figure following behind Ethan Carter III when he makes his way down to the ring. It is James Laurinaitis. If you are out of the loop, James Laurinaitis... He is that freak. He is that 6'4", 240-pound man, the former NFL linebacker, the son of Road Warrior Animal, the family member. He's related to John Laurinaitis. He's related to Brie and Nikki Bella by marriage. That's wrestling blood. That goes up with the names of wrestling families like Hennig and the Rhodes family. There's more than one royal family in wrestling, and it's James Laurinaitis. He's with his boy Ethan Carter III, and they go ding, ding, ding. The match is on. And the big finish of this match here, Chad, I always have a muscle memory, just saying Chad, because, you know, I go through the matches, I record with him a lot. Well, it doesn't matter. Eddie Kingston hits a massive, massive brain buster on Ethan Carter III. But James Laurinaitis gets on the apron to distract the referee, yelling at him. The referee, you know, referees, losing focus, starts yelling at James Laurinaitis, and he throws James Laurinaitis out. He's out. He's been ejected from the arena. He's got to go. And Eddie Kingston starts yelling at him, calling him words that I'm not allowed to say. But Ethan Carter III rolls up Eddie Kingston. 1, 2, 3, fast count. Pulling the tights, and Ethan Carter III gets the job done and wins in 17-13. EC3 with another win. Eddie Kingston 0-2 in the NWA. 0-3 actually, but taking tough losses in every single one of them. Lost in that fatal 5-way to start the series, and has lost to 2 roll-ups from Laurinaitis and EC3. Ricky Morton had to calm EC3 down after the match. He was upset that Eddie Kingston almost injured him with that brainbuster. A botched move. Oh my, we have some heat backstage. Brawl in, question mark? We'll have to show the tape later next week. But now we have to, as Billy Corgan's trying to calm down EC3 and Eddie Kingston, we now have the women's title match. Now it's Camille coming out to the ring first, and it's Thunder Rosa, the NWA World Women's Champion, coming out next. And, Camille has showed her dominance, beating everyone in her path so far. It's been a short path, but she's beaten everyone in their path. Ashley Vox, she beat Marty Bell last week. She's been dominant throughout her run here, but Thunder Rosa she's not going to go down without a fight. She is the NWA Women's Champion for a reason, and they go one-on-one here. But look, the ball keeps rolling. Why are Thunder Rosa and Melina together? Are they okay? Melina must be managing Thunder Rosa. Doesn't matter. Camille destroys her, and wouldn't even say destroys her, but a back and forth match, 15:48 with a spear. Camille is your new women's champion, and she is, holding her championship up proudly. She could have that same kind of run like her stablemate and her good friend and partner, Nick Aldis. We go backstage. We got some heat backstage. Matt Cardona bursts through Billy Corgan's door, and Billy Corgan puts down the phone. He's trying to deal with Eddie Kingston and EC3, that situation right now, and he's already mad. Billy Corgan's already mad, and Matt Cardona is about to make him mad because he says, what kind of circus are you running here, Billy? I just had to maneuver my way through a backstage fight, and, forget that. Last week, today I had to change once again in the hallway. What the hell did I tell you last time I was here? The internet champion needs his own private locker room. I'm not going to sit there in the hallway and change and watch. No. It's not going to fly for Matt Cardona. And then second, are we just going to ignore the blatant favoritism showed by the referee tonight towards the Zicky Dice? I had that match won. I refuse to sit here and be cheated and Billy Corgan cuts him off. And he says, Matt, I got a lot on my plate, but you said you were always ready. And I guess tonight, we found out you weren't. Now, please get out of my office because I wanted to enjoy this fantastic show. But now I got to deal with two hooligans backstage fighting because one guy hurt his neck on a brainbuster. Cardona, please leave. Please, I'll see you. It doesn't matter. And Matt says, you will regret this, Billy. Nobody fucks over Matt Cardona. And he slams the door shut. And Billy Corgan has got his head in his hands. He has... What is going on backstage? The locker room is collapsing in front of us. We go on our not co-main event, but we have three more matches. It's Aaron Stevens coming out to the ring to take on Tim Storm. We saw last week that Tim Storm asked politely. He wants to put his name on the long lineage of NWA national champions. And he asked Aaron Stevens for a title shot. Aaron Stevens said, you know what? There you go. Tim Storm, you want it? You got it. Tim Storm, Aaron Stevens go one-on-one tonight. Tim Storm, like he said, doesn't know how long he has left in the ring. He is 55 years old. He is a former NWA World Heavyweight Champion twice. He's done it all in NWA. But he's got his hands full with Aaron Stevens tonight. And turns out age is a bigger issue for Tim Storm than he thought because he loses to Aaron Stevens in 17:25 after Aaron Stevens hits him with the Kobito Acquit. Okay, we're going to name his finisher something else. Aaron Stevens making this defense number one of the NWA Championship. After the match, though, Tim Storm, he puts out his hand. He wants to show Aaron Stevens his sign of respect, and he wants a handshake. Aaron Stevens shakes his hand and raises his hand, Tim Storm's hand up, points at him to show the crowd that you should cheer for Tim Storm. He's a living legend of this business. And then a man comes in and he slides into the ring from the crowd. He's got a pipe in his hand and he beats down both Aaron Stevens and Tim Storm. He's got a hood on so you can't really see it. And he keeps hitting them with the lead pipe. Bam, bam, bam. The fans are booing. This guy's taking out Aaron Stevens and Tim Storm. And he's standing there with his back to the hard cam. And he turns around, he takes the hood off. And it's that bastard. It's that bastard, Kevin Kiley. That son of a bitch. He has taken out Aaron Stevens and Tim Storm. Kevin Kiley is here in the NWA. That son of a bitch. And now we got our co-main event now. Tag Team Championship on the line. Coming out first are the Wild Cards, Royce Isaacs and Thomas Latimer, followed by the NWA Tag Team Champions, Dummy, Eli Drake, and James Storm. We haven't seen them in a while. They've been defending their tag team titles in different companies. They've been around the nation, around the country, defending their belts, like they said in week 1. Maybe they need to go elsewhere to find some competition they have, and they have to defend their belts here tonight at Shockwave. And as you see here, they do win. They do retain their belts in 18-14, but not by the way you think they would have. It's because the wild cards couldn't get their anger under control, and Royce Isaacs was disqualified fighting Eli Drake in the corner, and that is, disgusting to say the least, but they continue the beatdown post-match. They beat down Eli Drake and James Storm. The wild cards stand tall to end this match. A 58, though. Good match there. Good match. Yeah, we see, they continue the beatdown. Eli Drake once again off, so I'm sure we got to talk to Eli Drake about, finding consistency in his in-ring actions, in in-ring fights. But alas, we'll wait until after the show to do that, because up next is your main event. Trevor Murdoch, Dirty South, coming out with the people in his corner. Can he do it? Can he end the reign of Nick Aldis, who is now at 622 days of being the NWA World Heavyweight Champion? Almost Roman Reigns kind of length of being champion. Does he have the shot? Can he do it? Can he retain the belt, continue the run? Or will Trevor Murdoch be the new face of the NWA? Well, unfortunately for me, I'm joking, Nick Aldis continues the run in NWA as World Heavyweight Champion, hitting Trevor Murdoch with the Tormentum. The Tormentum, okay. And wins in 15-14, an unbelievable match, a 59. These guys, Nick Aldis, showcasing the true talent that he has, a technical classic that he is. He will break you down limb by limb. Nick Aldis, your NWA World Heavyweight Champion, to end the show. Him and Camille, the power couple, as people were calling it. The title reign continues. Long live the champs. As we see the NWA World Heavyweight Champion and the NWA Women's Champion to end the show. We finished the show with a 629 people here tonight. Wow, massive show. Sold out arena. We finished the show, and, let's address the lock. We have a media scrum. Let's get into the media scrum. We're going to tell, who should I tell? Eli Drake really needs to get it together, right? Ripped into for a poor performance. Oh, and that was it. Okay. That's all I had. I guess that's all I could do. We lost some money, figured out. We do go up in popularity, but now we have our medias. Medium or larger? Medium or larger? All right, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see if for week 5, NWA Power 26 and the go home to Slammiversary for TNA Impact, and then Slammiversary will be right after that. We'll see you there for Slammiversary, Impact, and Power. See you.